5 minutes of fire coming right at you right now. This game felt over as soon as Brock Purdy told Shanahan, I can't throw the ball. And then Josh Johnson fumbled the snap. Nick, you've been down on the Eagles, who now have a record of 16-3 all year. You and the committee, for that matter.
Yeah.
Are you saying that the Eagles got lucky? You did on our morning meeting.
Well, listen. The Chiefs got to this place by beating the Prince and Joe Burrow.
Oh, the Prince.
The Eagles got to this place by beating Daniel Jones and Josh Johnson. They are not the same thing. However, the Eagles were able to play Daniel Jones and Josh Johnson because they were a dominant regular season team. And because they had such a great record throughout the first 3.5 months of the year, that even when their quarterback went down and they lost games, they still were the 1 seed. So they did earn it. Mm-hmm. And they can't control the fact that right now, the AFC, NFC, when it comes to quality of teams at the top, appears to be the SEC against the Mountain West. There's nothing you can do. You just got to play who's in front of you. And where I will give the Eagles credit is I thought they were incredibly well coached in this game for a guy with in his second career playoff game. And I think they showed the depth of their roster. But do I think, Brew, that this is one of the more fortuitous paths to a Super Bowl that I've ever seen? Of course I do. You played Daniel Jones and you played a team whose third-string quarterback got hurt. No, he's not. And you played a team whose third-string quarterback got knocked out in the game, and then the fourth-string quarterback got knocked out of the game.
But here's the thing. They knocked him out of the game. Now, I know you don't go out to hurt a guy,
Facts.
but you go out to hit somebody hard.
That's true.
And they knocked Brett Purdy and then knocked Josh Johnson out of the game.
Poor guy was
and they had
13
QB pressures. Yeah, that's a Brett Purdy.
That's what happens to a guy.
Iowa Mafia, bro. Iowa Mafia still Iowa Mafia.
And he's not even his name. Go ahead.
Purdy. But they had 13. The hit on Purdy was a precursor of what was coming.
That's true.
I mean, they had 13 QB pressures on 18 dropbacks for San Francisco. That's unheard of. So, and they dominated physically the team that we didn't think could be dominated physically in the Niners, Coach.
Yeah, I don't think they got lucky either. And your point is exactly right. It's not like they went down with pulled hamstrings or some sort of fluke injury. They hit him. They hit both of them multiple times, and they knocked him out of the game. And that's a testament to the Eagles' defensive line, to their scheme. A little bit of question why San Francisco decided to block with who they blocked with, but they did, and the Eagles took advantage of it. So you're taking away from what Brock Purdy was able to do when you said it's the Mountain West. I mean, I don't think the 49ers are the...
No, I thought the 49ers and Eagles were both great teams. I'm sorry. I thought they were both very, very good teams that would have been great in either conference. I thought the rest of the NFC outside of those two teams was obviously not. But go ahead.
Does Brock Purdy play defense? Because all I've heard is how good this 49ers defense is outside of when Jarrett Stidham cooked them up. But here's what they did yesterday. Gave up 31 points. They usually give up 16. Rushing yards, 79 to 148. Rushing touchdowns.
A little misleading.
What's misleading?
You know what I think? Well, I think the defense got worn down though by being out there so much. Purdy couldn't.
Oh, boo!
I mean,
we're worn down. The NFC Championship.
37 minutes.
That's a haterade.
Because the defense did stop him on several series.
Listen,
I'll give you that. I don't think they got lucky. I'll give you that.
The Niners literally got a stop on fourth down, and they didn't. They missed the call.
Up 31 points.
So it doesn't.
No,
they didn't get a stop.
I understand.
Yeah,
but I think the Niners have a great defense. That the Eagles credit.
But then the next drive, there's 3 defensive penalties.
All true.
But still, the Eagles had to force those penalties to happen. They didn't happen by accident.
All true. What I thought you were going to say there is, because you weren't this at the beginning of the year, but you kind of turned it into it. This show's Cowboys fan. Like, hey, the Cowboys are underrated. Yeah. I'm not saying that in a negative way.
The mayor fair. So when I see something unfair,
exactly.
I go in.
If you're the Cowboys watching that game, you got to be sick to your stomach.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Eagles looked unbeatable in that game. I think Jalen looks compromised at the moment, and it looked like the Niners had a lot of self-inflicted wounds. And if you're the Cowboys, you watch that game and you're like, my God, man, if we could have executed better against San Francisco, we would have gotten the rubber match against Philly when Philly was not firing on all cylinders, and maybe it's a little different. So do
you blame Zeke for that block? Zeke could have just made that block. Could have won the game. Who knows what Kellen Moore had cooking. Coming up next, we're talking about
Ram trucks built to serve.
Welcome back to a monstrous Monday show. Coach Mangini is here with us. Head down to Philly where the Eagles dispatched of a beat-up 49ers team that played Christian McCaffrey at quarterback. Here's George Kittle on the loss.
How's that feel to lose in the NFC Championship game because I don't have a quarterback? Pretty to be honest. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
It didn't feel good.
Do you think the 49ers would have won if Purdy didn't get hurt?
I do, but I don't think that matters.
Okay.
So I do. I thought the Niners were, over the course of the season, the most impressive team in their conference, and I thought they were riding a hot streak that was very legitimate. And the postseason success they had to me validated that. And the Eagles, while they had been excellent over the first 3 quarters of the season, obviously hadn't played their best ball going in the postseason. And I thought Jalen was banged up, and he was banged up, and you saw it. But the reason there were two key moments early in this game, Coach, and to me it speaks to why football's the ultimate team sport, from the guy who's building the team, coaching the team, and the guys executing. Hassan Reddick made that play.
Yep.
Hassan Reddick was available for the whole league to sign. The Eagles didn't pay $120 million for him. They paid 3 years, $45 million. And he changed the entire game with that play, even if Purdy hadn't gotten hurt. But with and that's one of the benefits of strip sack is you can bang up the quarterback in a totally legal way. But the other noteworthy moment was before that, Coach. The 4th and 3 is so impressive for 3 reasons. One is they stuck to exactly who they were. They knew they're a 4th down team, so even in the conference championship game, they go for it. They went for a 4th and 1 later in the game on their own 34. The second was they had clearly coached up. Guys, if you make a big play and it's not actually a good play, we have a signal. Hurry up.
Yeah,
and
that
you saw
should be the signal to
Devontae
challenge it, though. I mean, give me a break.
But that's where, listen, nobody gives Kyle Shanahan more credit than me. I think he's a brilliant play designer. But Sirianni 100% outfoxed him there. His guys were ready with this to know that would have been a turnover, ball in the 40. The whole game's different. Maybe Purdy doesn't get hurt. And Shanahan didn't pick up what I think a lot of us watching the game picked up, which was, Devontae Smith sure seems like he wants to hurry up. Might be worth tossing a challenge flag there. But instead he waited to hear to see if they got a view of it. They didn't. And so that's coaching. So the GM brought in a player. The coach had the players ready, and then their players went and executed. So I give the Eagles massive credit organizationally top down, even if I think you play this game 10 times, the Niners win 7 of them.
Yeah, I don't think they would have been able to win just based off the way the day went. And start with that protection. The idea of matching up your tight end against their best pass rusher. Okay, so that's one problem. And they did something very similar a few plays later. So there's that element to it, and then you move fast forward, you don't get the challenge. And this is no secret that when a team is hurrying up, that usually means they don't feel like the ball was caught, and you practice it from both sides. And when you're in that situation, it's a 4th and 3 play, so it's a turnover type play. And then in addition to that, it's a scoring play because the ball's going to be on the 6, so you're going to get at least 3 points. Okay, so you got that, and then the next scoring drive. So you don't challenge them. The next scoring drive, there's 3 defensive penalties. They score there. Then there's the fumble right before the half. They score there. And then you come out in the second half, and that drive, you rough the punter, and then you rough the quarterback. So if you look collectively, it's special teams, it's coaching, it's defense, it's all those elements. So, yeah, maybe, look, I would have much rather seen Purdy and seen what that was, but there are a lot of things working against them.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt Philly wins. Either way, the shot that took Purdy out, I mean, that was going on all game. I get that was their first possession, but they had 13 quarterback pressures on 18 passes by the Niners. All right, they had 7 QB hits on the 18 attempts and 3 sacks. So I think they were just going to be getting after Purdy all day, and they beat up the Niners. I mean, they put out both quarterbacks. You saw Fred Warner, Nick Bosa getting up slowly on different plays. Like, they were just more physical, and then they ran for about 150 yards. And people talking about Hurts didn't do a ton, but he didn't have to because they could run the ball all day on him. They're trying to work the clock. They had 37 minutes of possession to 22. I get it, after the quarterback goes out, it's tough. But still, I just think they were the better team.
So I'm going to go a step further, Coach, and you tell me if I'm usually the mayor fair, and I want to be, but you tell me if you think I'm being unfair. Because we've seen when quarterbacks throw a pass over the middle and a guy gets hurt, it's like, well, that's a hospital pass. That's basically the quarterback got you injured. is it fair to say that Shanahan got Purdy injured with the decision to block Reddick with this tight end? Here's what he said. It's a tough block, but all play actions are tight ends versus edge rushers. You hope you can step up on it, which you usually do in the pocket. It was going to Ayuk, beat him. It was going to be a big play. So I think us football fans watch like he got hurt. But more studied football, if you were in the game, it's like, no, the scheme got him hurt. Is that fair to say from the Mayor of Fair?
I hate the matchup of tight ends against defensive ends, especially defensive ends that lead your team in sacks. You ask tight ends to do so much. Now you're going to put them in a three-point stance. It's going to be hard sell play action. You're going to block their best pass rusher off the edge on an extended play. It's a recipe for disaster. And they do something similar later on. Yeah, you have an X for their O. It's not the same. You've got two really good offensive tackles. Use those guys in those situations, or at least don't leave the tight end on an island in a three-point stance against a guy who's got 16 sacks. It's a recipe for disaster.
I'm telling you, between this and my decision to guard Kelsey, I got a future.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I can see stuff. On to the winning team.